Hi, I'm Dr. Ryan Seifert.
I'm Bryson Seifert, and this power button here is Jerry, who we're going to be working with
Jerry's
today.
a little lipoma. Don't judge. And we're gonna make a little incision here and remove it and stitch him back up.
And this is not my Simpson skin. This has been already cleaned with betadine, which was developed after alpha-dyne. And now this is just, what was
Alcohol
that?
swab.
Oh,
Just I'm taking the betadine off the skin now that it's killed the bacteria so that it doesn't stain your skin. So, you ready?
Yeah. I think Jerry's ready. You can see maybe here, this guy right here, that's Bob. We're gonna get him later on.
Yeah. Bob's pretty intense. Here, lift
Yeah,
up
he's a
here.
big guy. So we're starting with Jerry first.
Do you want to flex, Bob?
Ooh,
There's Bob. Just
future episode right there. Okay. Now we're gonna numb you up. So here's the first bit of numbing stick. And this will kind of
bulge.
bulge with
Ooh,
the...
look at that.
It burns, the stuff burns.
And what is that stuff?
Lidocaine.
Which is
1% lidocaine, which is it's
the cousin, well, it's from the cane family.
yeah.
So we have,
You can just think about canes that you know of.
yeah, so there's lidocaine, there's also
Bupivacaine,
and then cocaine,
cocaine.
and candy cane.
We don't use that here though, but
Yeah, I don't know if we'll do that on a future episode or not. Probably not.
I don't think we'll need it.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So we got a nice bulge.
Get that numbing up there. And then here's some tools we're gonna use. Got the scissors. This we'll use. This is a needle driver for when we put in the stitches. And let's see how we're doing. Does that feel like it's getting numb?
Yeah, I felt a little bit on this side.
That end? Okay, let's get a little more in there.
But we're doing pretty good.
Probably some of this is ending up in the actual lipoma, so we'll get into the skin here a little bit more.
Ending up in Jerry.
Yeah.
Is it harder to pierce the lipoma than it is skin? Like, is it a noticeable difference with the needle?
Not really.
Getting a nice bulge to it.
Okay.
That's pretty numb now.
Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty good. You doing okay?
So just tell me if that seems all numb.
That seems all numb. I can't feel anything, I don't think.
We'll start kind of small there.
Oh no,
Hey,
we're good.
none of that. I had some lipomas removed and I went in and they wanted to put me under for it, but I went and had, or before I went that morning, I accidentally had like a handful of Cheerios. And so,
On accident.
well, yeah, I don't know what, I didn't really eat breakfast, but I just grabbed them and then kind of realized, anyway, so I told them when I got there and they said like, oh shoot, okay, we can't put you under. So then they gave me something to kind of, not sedate me, but just relax me a little bit. And then they did like we're doing here where they numbed it up and, anyway, but whatever they gave me, I don't know what it was, it was a long time ago. They, it did relax me and it made me, I just thought that I was really funny. And so the doctor had numbed up. I'm trying to see the actual fat. I feel like we haven't even gotten down to it yet.
The actual Jerry?
Yeah.
He's just hiding. So you just thought you turned into a comedian then?
Yeah, and so he said at one point, so he's numbing up each thing, you know, before he would cut it, and And he said, "Do you feel anything there?" And I said, "Like a sharp scalpel." And he's like, "Did you?" And I was like, "No." Anyway, in my mind, it was hilarious. And he was not amused.
So sometimes it seems like when local anesthetic has been applied, and maybe this is just a fake thing, that wounds don't bleed as much. Is that a real thing?
Well, if it has epinephrine in the lidocaine, there's sometimes it includes epinephrine, and that does actually decrease the bleeding, because it closes the kind of constricts the blood vessels a little bit.
So typically, how deep are lipomas?
They're usually pretty superficial, but I'm still looking for the. Oh, there, that kind of looks like it right there.
Jerry.
It might be a little bit of Jer. I'm just gonna see.
We're so excited to meet him. I wonder what his personality's like.
I don't know. He seems pretty shy so far.
Yeah. Huh? Is that Jerry? I'm not, I promise you, I'm not trying to hold him back or anything.
He's definitely a shy guy.
Yeah. Which is funny because it seemed, before we cut that, he was right there, ready to come out.
And now he's just like hiding down in there.
Actually, no, guys, I don't want to do this.
Maybe that's what it is. He's camera shy.
It's not for everyone.
How are you doing? How are you doing with the numbing?
It's good. I can't feel much.
The interesting thing about this kind of medication is it only takes away pain. It doesn't take away anything else.
Can you stop? No.
Goodness. I have to edit this a lot. Are you doing okay?
Yeah, are you actually doing okay?
Yeah, I think so.
Does it make it? You're looking a little pale.
Am I?
A little bit.
Grab that water and have a couple of sips.
Okay, I'll stop for 1 sec. So there we just got the first little part of Jer.
So he broke up a little bit.
Yeah.
Poor guy. He's having a rough time of it.
He's really sticking to that though, yeah.
So it seems like it's not like really attached to anything.
Whoa.
Oh, there we go. Jerry.
There he is. It's just like we thought. Look at you, Jer.
We're so happy
Put
to
that
see
on
you.
Put this on a gauze right here.
Look at him. All growed up.
Mm.
Well,
That feels much better. No lumps in there. Just do one look here. Okay. What do you think Jerry wanted to be when he grew up?
I don't know. Let's look at him, see what he has to say.
Probably a movie cop.
A peach.
He wanted to be chicken fat when he grew up.
So if you were in a pinch, could you eat that?
Oh my gosh.
So
Okay.
we're pretty sure we got all bits of Jerry out.
Yeah.
Because typically, would you say that the lipomas, they're one glob that'll stick together? or-
Yeah. They're just like, yeah, usually one lump. And then, well, that first little bit came off, but that was just trying to pull it loose. And then the rest of it all came out at once.
Mm-hmm. And so they're not really connected to anything.
Well, they just kind of are in a little capsule.
Uh-huh. So can they be connected to something? Like, can veins go through them or anything, like with tumors?
Yeah, there's some more complicated lipomas that are usually deeper than this, and sometimes they will have blood vessels going through them. But the ones that are just really on the surface and are little like this are usually not like that.
Oh, okay. You just...
Like if you can feel the whole little lump and kind of move it around, then it's usually simple like that.
Hmm. So now we're going to sew this bad boy up. So what type of suture is this? Is this the type that is permanent and then you pull it out once it's healed?
Yeah. Well, these ones don't dissolve.
Okay.
We'll just do simple sutures across here, and then they can be removed after about a week.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll do this one.
The initiatory.
Oh my goodness. Is there a little bit frustrating?
There we go.
This is a 4/0 suture. That's the size, how thick the thread is. So it's not the thinnest, but it's pretty thin, but it's still strong enough for a place like this.
So if it was in like an area where there's a lot of movement, then you would want a thicker one then?
Yeah, if it's over a joint, like where the joint is going to be sort of stretching the skin apart a lot, then you want to maybe like a 3/0.
Okay.
If it's on your face, then you'd want to do a 5 or a 6/0 because it's really little, and so the little suture marks are less noticeable. Also on the face, you leave them there like just for 5 days instead of 7 to 10.
Because your face heals faster?
It's more cosmetic.
Okay.
So it heals enough to take them out.
So that you don't have the marks?
Yeah. So then you leave enough on here to be able to find it and remove it later. We lost our camera person to a wee bit about of nausea.
Once Jerry was birthed.
Yeah.
We almost lost me for a second there.
And certain comments were made.
In jest, but also a little bit serious because we don't know. I mean, if you're in...
Well, I mean, I know people have survived in the mountains with... They had to eat their friends on the air, like when the airplane crashed, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't know if they're eating the fat.
So, with stitches like this on this small incision, typically how many like back and forths do you need to do? Does that matter?
Oh,
like,
yeah,
is there a
so
standard?
So I just did that first one, you wrap around once and grab it and then pull it. So that's the first one I did. This second one, or sorry, twice. And then this second one, you go once the other direction.
Okay.
And then you grab that loose end and then you pull the opposite direction. So when you're tying the knot, and then I go one more time, a single one this way, and tighten it, and then that's enough. And then what you do is you can see how the skin's kind of puckering a little bit. You want to have it pucker a little bit so that when it heals, the scar doesn't leave a kind of a trench there.
So that's all the stitches that we need then?
We'll do one more. It'll
One
probably
more
be
on the other side?
3, yeah.
Okay. And how long? Obviously, it depends on like the person, but typically, how long does it take for lidocaine to wear off?
Probably the soonest it wears off is 20 minutes. It's like 20 to 40 minutes. So in this one, so I pulled it through. You can see the loose end here, and then I do 1, 2 like that. Grab this with that end, and then pull this, make the knot there, and then go around this way once. Grab the loose end, and then tighten it again, and then one more the original direction, and then tighten it again, and then we'll scoot this. We'll scoot all these knots to the same side. Oh. Trim. Okay. That's good.
There you have it. Can't even hardly ever even tell.
Yeah, and then we'll just
anything
put a little bit of antibiotic ointment on there and a Band-Aid, and you're good to go.
And here we go. Got little Jerry. Is that? I don't know.
It's kind of flat.
Is it Geraldo or is it Jerry?
I'm not sure. Could even be Geraldine. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
But it's kind of flat and elongated. Yep.
We're so proud of him.
Yep. A little shy to begin with, but then...
And then here he is.
Yep.
Just happy to be here. We're happy to have him.
He's been birthed.
And we got those 3 little stitches looking good.
This comes with shot glasses.
Oh, perfect for toasting the successful birth of Jerry.
Yeah, these are for like saline solution if you have to clean up, but we're pretty clean. So.
Yeah. Not too much bleeding.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. So we got the Band-Aid, got some Neosporin under that, and we got a little
Healing time.
Little baby Jerry here. Just happy to be out in the real world. And, you know, he's a little spongy, a little squishy squish. And we'll try to find a good home for him. But we're happy to have him.